Hello, I'm Julia Delbecchi, and I'm the Educational Resource Director here at the Ximenez-Fatio House Museum. I also often portray Juana Ximenez, and welcome to our segment, Storytime at the Ximenez-Fatio House, with our very own director, Dr. Roger Smith.
Happy Halloween! Yes, it's Halloween time, and we are in what we call the family room in the Ximenez-Fatio House Museum. But don't be fooled by all of these neat toys, and we think it's also like a doctor's room. There are different medical implements and utensils here, but we have the creepy doll who seems to kind of follow us around as we move through the room. You never know. I don't know. It's a Halloween thing. Well, they have Halloween in Gwenfiddletown too, and we're going to read a story today called The Mystery of Spooky Trail Way. 'Twas a cold, spooky night in Gwenfiddletown. The wind blew the leaves all about. Clouds danced strangely across a full moon. It was not a good night to be out. But out they were, those crazy town folk, in costumes like you've never seen. For every Gwenfuddlian youngster and old was enjoying a great Halloween. There were Vikings and fairies, hobos and kings, leprechauns, goblins and wizards, policemen and nurses, witches and elves, dinosaurs, pirates and lizards. There was Robin Hood talking with old Huck Finn. The Pied Piper was tooting his flute. Buffalo Bill walked with Chief Sitting Bull, and Pretty Boy Floyd with his lute. House after house has pumpkins and ghosts to greet every treater who comes, then load up their sacks with candies and cakes and oranges and apples and plums. But tonight, something extra would be in their sacks, something they wouldn't expect. Mysterious messages, no two the same, that none of the town could detect. Turn to the left, read Fireman Fred, followed by the number 14. Mine says 7, his daughter cried out. Then wait till the light turns to green. Great guns, what is this? Cried Mayor Typhoon, but a mouse with a note on his head. Number 32, he read to the crowd, then duck down so you don't bump your head. And every trick-or-treater in Gwenfiddletown had a similar problem to solve. A mysterious verse written down on a note around which a number revolves. Only one thing to do, said Police Chief O'Hare as he pulled out his cellular phone. Whenever I have a good mystery so grand, I call my good friend Hemlock Holmes. Hemlock Holmes was a famous detective who knew how to solve any mystery. He came to the scene with his aide, Dr. Fatson, to study these notes and their history. It's quite clear to me, Mr. Holmes did announce, that this is a possible trap. If the notes are arranged numbers 1, 2, and 3, they make a most definite map. Dr. Fatson and I will pursue this great hunt till we've followed each tracing and clue. For the last note reads, all my treasures I give to Gwenfiddletown and to you. So into the night they followed their clues, turning to the right and then left, not really knowing what crime they would solve, or perhaps catch a thief in his theft. Or had a great crime indeed been done? Was this some practical joke? Fatson and Holmes would soon know the truth and comfort these Gwenfiddle folk. They went past the church on Heavenly Street, then right at the school on Green Bay. They circled Town Square, not once but twice, and continued up Spooky Trail Way. Of course, cried Holmes, I must have been blind. It's leading us right to the spot where no town person would ever be seen and surely would never be caught. It's the old haunted mansion, Fatson agreed as a shadow came over their faces. An obvious place on this Halloween, yet the best hiding place of all places. Quite right you are, Holmes said to his friend. It's the first place that we should have checked. Even I thought it wise to stay clear of this house, and I'm sure that you wouldn't object. Holmes didn't wait for an answer, of course, talking as he opened the door, which didn't much matter, for once in the house, Fatson fell through a trap in the floor. Holmes didn't see that his friend was now gone, for his mind was too busy and focused. he began telling a haunting ghost tale to explain all this house hocus pocus. For legend has it that many years past, Mr. Gaston had lived in this house. He was mean to the people of Gwenfiddletown. He once even kicked the church mouse. So when he did die, the people were glad to be rid of the Gaston house host. But they can't drink a toast, for the most they can boast is the host has become Gaston Ghost. And he's living here still, Holmes said very soft, but I hardly believe that at all. Quite, said Fatson as he reappeared through a trick sliding door in the wall. Sit yourself down, you don't look well, Holmes said as he went up the stairs. But when Fatson sat down, the couch spun around and just a bare chair was now there. Then all of a sudden, Fatson appeared inside of the grandfather clock, upside down with his feet in the air, swinging the tick and the tock. But before he could yell, the clock let him go, and he fell to the floor with a crash. A suit of old armor said, "How do you do?" as he flew up the stairs in a dash. As he reached the top, the stairs folded up and made a most wonderful slide. Zoom! Down he went through another trap door, once again to be trapped deep inside. The clues all lead here, Holmes said to his aide, who still was nowhere to be found. To the master bedroom of Gaston the Ghost. The evidence lies all around. Just at that time, old Fatson crashed down through the flue in the room's fireplace. His clothes were all rumpled, his hair was a mess. He had ashes and soot on his face. What have we here? Holmes said, bending down. A clue on the floor by the bed. But as he bent over, a floating axe swung only inches above the man's head. Fatson gasped and fell down in a faint, shoving the fireplace grate, which triggered a spring and unhooked some things so the bookcase swung out like a gate. What? Said Holmes, forgetting his clue, which wasn't a clue anyway. Fatson, wake up! It's no time to sleep. The treasure's in here, don't delay. For behind the wall of the bedroom suite was a smaller and quite secret room. Candles were burning to give it some light, but it still felt as cold as a tomb. Holmes rushed in with Fatson behind, but they quickly put on all their brakes, for what was inside would bring them great joy, along with a bad case of shakes. The room was all filled with candies and treats, enough for 10 years at the most. But with a smile on his face and axe in his hand, the room also held Gaston Ghost. Come in, Gaston said in a cheery old voice. I won't do you any harm. The candy is real, but the axe is a fake. This ghost had a great deal of charm. I'll tell you my story, as it's plain to see that your questions are stuck in your throats. Sit down, have a seat, eat a candy bar, please, and loosen the belts on your coats. I was not a mean man. I had a bad back that was painful and made me tight-lipped. It's hard to look happy when feeling so sore, and I didn't kick that mouse. I tripped. As for scaring the people, you can see I'm a ghost, and feelings for ghosts are the same. They come in my house completely unwelcome and scare me, but I get the blame. So each Halloween, I've tried to make peace by offering candy and pie. But year after year, I add to this room, for none of the folks will come by. Till at last I spirited notes in their sacks. I even wrote one for the mouse, to get someone up here to take all these treats and try out my old haunted house. You see, Dr. Fatson has already found that my house is all trickery and hints. It can bring lots of fun to our Gwenfiddletown and tourists with dollars and cents. So go tell the town of the secret you've learned, and maybe old feelings can mend. Then we'll all drink a toast and boast of the host who once was a ghost, now a friend. So every October the town comes alive, as thousands will visit the scene of the old haunted mansion that has a real ghost who spooks them a great Halloween.